Hi, everybody. Good morning. Apologies in advance. I do have a little bit of a hoarse voice this morning, so just bear with me as we're going through if my voice cracks or anything. Um, Hope you're all having a great start to your week. We are halfway there. Happy Wednesday. For those of you who I haven't had a chance to meet yet, my name is Claire Rogers, and I'm the social media specialist for Texas and Colorado. I'm really looking forward to helping you grow your business through these trainings and through social media. Today, we're going to be going over, hang on a second. There we go. So today we're going to be going over our social media 101 training. So really what we're going to be doing today is going over those best practices on how often to post, and specifically how often to post on specific social channels, as well as how to stay consistent on your social media across the board. So as I'm going through, if you have any questions, feel free to put those in the chat. I will be monitoring it as we're going through, but I'll also leave a couple of minutes at the end if you'd like to come off of mute and ask me anything directly. I also am recording this session and will be sending out that recording along with these slides after our meeting today. So you should have those to refer back to later. All right, so I really wanted to start today talking about how often you should be posting on specific social channels, and that is mostly because the suggested amount of posts, as I'm sure we all know, really does vary by each channel. So it's really important to have that information and use it so that you can enhance your social presence. All right, so being successful at social is all about finding that balance between keeping your followers engaged and not overwhelming them with content all the time. Users on different platforms expect to see a different number of postings and interactions from your page based on the platform itself. So for example, one person can have both a Twitter and a Facebook account, and a certain number of posts per week on Facebook can be seen as overwhelming or even annoying, while they wouldn't even question the same number of posts on Twitter. So this slide here has a good channel specific breakdown on kind of those best practices and expectations of posts on the biggest social media platforms. Those are the main ones that I'm going to be focusing on today. So this is a good rule of thumb for you guys to be following. Like I said, you guys will get this deck, so this is going to be a good thing to refer back to as you're planning out your strategy on the social channels. So because almost all of these are ranges, as you can see, I would encourage you to post the minimum weekly that I have on here. So when you're looking to be posting, I would say use those minimums, especially the ones that you're trying to actually grow your business on. If you can post more, that's amazing, but try not to go over those maximum numbers in that range because, like I said, we don't want to get overwhelming and be too much on a specific channel for our followers. So first up, we have Instagram, and really there are two layers of posting on the app. So I've listed both best practices for both of those here. Stories are, of course, those more casual posts that are only live for 24 hours. And users are really expecting to see a good number of those, especially from the brands and the other people that they follow. And that's on an everyday basis. It's best to be posting between 1 to 7 stories per day. So I know that that can seem like a lot, but like I said, they are more casual and a lot easier to be posting. So on the feed side of things, feed posts, which are of course those traditional posts that show up on your followers' feeds and are permanently on your profile. The best practice for those posts is between 4 to 5 times per week. So Facebook follows kind of a similar vein as Instagram in the number of posts that you should be making every week and how often kind of people expect to see those feed posts from brands and businesses that they follow. And it also has a best practice of 4 to 5 times per week. So Twitter is kind of unique. It's a pretty different platform from something like Instagram or Facebook. And users on the site kind of find more posting much more acceptable there because a lot of Twitter is retweeting and replying to tweets that other people have made. More post isn't as overwhelming. So for Twitter, it's best to have a combination of 5 to 7 mix of original posts, retweets of relevant posts to your page, and post replies every week. So those aren't 5 to 7 individual thoughts. Those are 5 to 7 total postings. So for LinkedIn, posts are generally much longer form. And so many people are also only active within the work week. So it's a shorter amount of time for people to be viewing it. Thus, more posts can get more overwhelming quickly. So it's best practice to do 3 original posts per week as a pretty good rule of thumb to follow on that one. So lastly, we have TikTok, and TikTok's platform really encourages a high amount of posting just due to the fact that users are usually browsing their curated feeds instead of just looking at a feed of pages that they follow. So they would rarely get overwhelmed with someone's content in particular, if that makes sense. So TikTok users also see hundreds of videos per day, as it is one of the longest browsed social platforms, especially right now. So even if a user came in contact with 2 or 3 of your videos in one day, it wouldn't really feel like a lot when they're averaging over 300 videos in one day. So because of these factors, really posting 5 to 7 videos per week on the platform is completely acceptable and honestly encouraged because it helps get you more visibility. All right, so just like the number of posts vary social platform to platform, the content that is expected and what people are wanting to see also varies by social media channel as well. So the next couple of slides, we're going to be kind of going into an in-depth look at the most popular social media sites and what type of content you specifically as an agent should be posting to each one of them. So we'll start again with Instagram. Instagram is one of the most visual platforms. There has to be a visual component to every single post. So that's an important thing to remember, as well as it's important to remember that whatever you're posting with or whatever you're posting needs to be accompanied with something that's high quality, whether that be an image or a video. So you'll want to be posting, of course, about your new properties on your feed with more curated and intentional posts and videos. But on the social or on the story side of things, you can also post more casual pictures and walkthroughs that you take yourself on your phone because, like we were saying, stories are a lot more casual than your feed posts should be. So you should also make sure that you're not only posting about real estate on your Instagram. A lot of people want to see lifestyle photos here on your feed and also stories about your day-to-day. And another big thing that people love to see is just how you're handling your time, what you're seeing, local foods, shopping spots. People love finding other businesses on Instagram specifically. So another good thing that you can leverage on the story side of things is to give your audience a look at what your behind the scenes and day-to-day as a realtor really looks like. Even once your day is done and you're doing things with your family or you're going out to eat or whatever you're doing, even outside of the times that you're working, you can absolutely be leveraging those on your stories because, like we were saying, there really should be a good, healthy mix of business and professional posts. You'll also want to be posting real estate tips and tricks, specifically on Reels, as well as any high-end listing walkthroughs that you have. All of that stuff is really, really important. There's a lot more that kind of goes into reels and even stories. So if you're looking to get started using them or learn more about them, you should definitely come to my Instagram 2.0 training, where I kind of dive in and talk a lot about those. Like I said, this is a more broad overlook with this 101. So if you want to learn more about that, come to the more channel specific trainings as well. So one last thing that you should note on Instagram specifically is that, like, unlike any other social media platform, you can't post links in your captions. So these posts dealing with new listings or anything that you want to call out that has a link to it, you won't be able to put that in your caption. That it won't be a clickable link. I guess you could put it there, but I wouldn't advise it. So when you're thinking about what you want to post specifically for new listings and linking to those, you'll want to make sure that your Instagram post is unique from something like Twitter or Facebook, because those, of course, you can post links. So Facebook is, like I was saying, a little bit similar to Instagram on the feed side of things, and you can keep a lot of those posts relatively similar for both platforms. But there are a few differences when it comes to the type of content that your audience will expect to see on Facebook. Users more heavily in the past few years have come to Facebook for industry knowledge and news. So I would absolutely recommend sharing big industry articles and new real estate statistics directly on your Facebook business page, along with a caption that gives your thoughts, as well as urges your followers to give their opinions in the comments. You'll also want to share your new listings on Facebook, of course, and always add the link to the listing itself in the caption. You can also link your Instagram and Facebook pages so that you can share your Instagram stories to your Facebook stories. I would always urge you to build out your actual stories within Instagram, just because the platform is more advanced on the story side of things and is much more user friendly. So instead of linking and posting your Facebook stories to your Instagram stories, I would start on Instagram and share that way. That makes sense. All right. So like I was saying earlier, Twitter really is unique as a social channel, but it's really unique because it's both heavily used as a news outlet, as well as being heavily used as a comedic platform. So it's kind of a little bit of a contradiction of itself. When you're thinking of the type of content that you want to push or post on Twitter, think of things that make sense for others to want to either retweet or respond to. So that can include real estate industry articles, as well as articles about happenings in your area or your city, or just anything that isn't real estate related as well. So you'll also want to post photos and links to any new listings. Of course, I'm going to harp on that. We want to make sure that that's visible on every platform. Like I said, just to get as much exposure as you can. So you'll also want to follow other real estate accounts and be retweeting things like real estate humor and other real estate news, anything like that. Make sure you're sharing on your own page as well. So for LinkedIn, because it is solely a professional social site, your posts need to reflect that. The type of posts that get the most kind of circulation and attention on LinkedIn are the ones of personal and professional success, as well as articles and commentary on articles about enhancements in the world of business, technology, and industry-specific articles. So I would just say making sure you're sharing new and timely articles about economic or business growth in your area specifically, new companies that are coming to your city, and anything real estate related are definitely things that you want to be posting. And again, here you want to be putting your captions in there that show your commentary on these articles. Like I've touched on a little bit, LinkedIn is expected to have more longer form captions. So definitely feel free to talk a lot on there. That's what people expect to see, especially with your commentary and your opinions on them. So you should also be showcasing your professional successes, and that includes just any rewards or accolades that you receive, along with links to the new listings that you get, of course. Um, LinkedIn users also really love how-tos and lists. They perform really well on the site. So tips in real estate and anything you're passionate about are also great post ideas. So finally, we have TikTok, and TikTok really has two main successful real estate types of videos. These are the ones that can go viral and gain traction on the app. So those two things are walkthroughs of high-end listings or really, really beautiful listings, all of those to trending or popular songs, and tips and tricks about the real estate world and market that kind of the younger demographic that TikTok trends to cater to don't know yet. So I encourage you to go in your brain bank, think of things that maybe you think are no brainers at this point, that somebody who's in their early 20s has never purchased a house before wouldn't know. And that's the type of content that's really, really sticking and resonating with people on TikTok. All right, so now that you know what you should be posting and what channels you should be posting that stuff to, outside of the photos and videos you take yourself, where else can you find the articles and news updates that your followers really care about? So this list here is just honestly a little bit of a fraction of the type of content that you can find, but it's really a good place to start looking, as it has a big mix of real estate news, local news, spots around your city, and general topics that you can share on your various platforms. So you can choose to regularly check these pages' websites, blogs, and social pages, or you can even sign up for email subscriptions, excuse me, or turn on push notifications from their social accounts, so that you're notified as something new gets released. Like we were saying, it's really important to be timely on a lot of these, making sure that you're getting information out there as soon as you can, so that you're kind of seen as a go-to for these types of things instead of posting old news. So the examples that we have included here are Realtor Magazine, Community Impact, which is a city-specific news outlet, so you can find that for your city. Culture Map, which is kind of the same thing. It's a hub for city-specific lifestyle news and happenings. Local news stations, of course. Forbes, which is great for things like LinkedIn, HGTV, which honestly has a lot of blogs about things like trends in home decor, which people love to see. House, which houses trends and ideas for interior design. Thrillist, which is about the coolest restaurants and spots in your city, and the New York Times. Right. So all this can kind of seem pretty overwhelming between, the variance in weekly posts and the type of content that people are expecting to see. So the easiest way that I would say to stay on top of your entire social strategy is to plan out your posts by creating a content calendar. I would suggest creating your content calendar a month at a time. So maybe in the last week of the month, start looking forward to the next month. But of course, if you want to be a little bit more updated with your plan, and you're a little bit more on top of it, you can absolutely do it for every, say, like 2 weeks or even every week. When you're thinking of the upcoming month specifically and the types of things that you want to be posting, always take into account the holidays or special occasions that are going to be coming up during that month, and mark it on your calendar. So holidays are pretty easy posts that you can be using, as well as the audience on pretty much all social media platforms expect to see brands and businesses posting about holidays. So that's a great thing to just go ahead and work into your calendar the month before. So looking at what you plan to post from a more holistic view with a content calendar also shows you, it also allows you to make sure you provide variety within your posts, and that goes for every social channel. The variety can be through types of media. Say you want to say, I want to post a single image here, a video here, that can be variety, or even just business related posts to personal posts, right? Trying to gauge a good happy medium of those two things. It's all about finding a good rhythm and a good balance for what you post to keep your audience excited and engaged. So it could take some time to get an understanding of what's resonating with your audience, what is doing the best for you, and that's okay. Social media is all about experimenting and understanding what is going to work for your audience and the people that you want to follow you. So don't get frustrated if some things aren't working out. It's always important to try a bunch of different stuff. And most of the places, social media sites will reward you for doing that as well. So when you create a content calendar, it also helps to separate your posts based on what channels they're going to be posted to. So I'm a very visual person. So what I would do is I would suggest to use a color guide to do this. For example, you can have your content calendar out and then use for your Instagram posts, all of those are going to be in a purple font. And then LinkedIn posts are going to be in a green font, just because it really helps you visualize your strategy even more. Like I said, that's how I plan out everything, is with colors. And it's really helped me, and I know that it can be a really beneficial thing for you as well. So once you've decided on what you want to be posting to each channel and when you want to post them, you can take even more off of your day-to-day plate and schedule your posts in advance when you're able to. So obviously for the posts that are new listings or breaking news that we've talked a lot about, you're not going to be able to really plan for those and schedule them out. But for things like holidays or pre-made content like videos or tips and tricks that you can use, you can absolutely use your time more efficiently here and use a third-party scheduler. So what third-party schedules are is they're essentially hubs for you to use where you can manage all of your social media accounts from one place. They're really, really helpful for people and businesses who want to be really strong and have a good presence on social media, but want to make it streamlined for themselves. And honestly makes it easier for yourself too. So I highly recommend using them if you want to make sure you're on top of your social and able to not have it consume you on a day-to-day basis. So there really are a ton of them out there, but the two that I would recommend the most would be Hootsuite and Buffer. So Hootsuite is arguably the most popular third-party schedule that's on the market. And it definitely is worth the hype. In my opinion, it's really good. It's super user-friendly, and it also allows you to schedule your posts out in advance for 3 different social profiles on the free version. So of course, you're always welcome to upgrade by paying a monthly or a yearly fee for it if you want to manage more than those 3 social channels. If you want to upgrade to like 4 or 5, you would just have to pay extra for that. Hootsuite also creates and runs reports for you, and it allows you to show the types of posts that are performing the best on specific social channels. So you can really use that data to provide more of what your audience likes and what they want to see in the future on specific accounts. Hootsuite also allows you to monitor all of the comments, messages, and other interactions that you get from your followers or fans. So another thing that I talk a lot on in some of my other trainings is just how important it is to stay on top of the messages and the comments that you get and be replying to those in a timely manner. So Hootsuite's a really good resource to be able to use that. I see Caitlin saying she loves Hootsuite. I completely agree. And the mobile app is also amazing. So you can kind of stay on top of everything while running around town. It's a great app. So the second option that you have that I would recommend is Buffer. So it's another extremely popular and user-friendly platform. It does allow you to schedule a little bit more than Hootsuite does. So it allows you to schedule your posts for 4 different social platforms on the free plan, but same deal. If you want to manage more, you can pay to upgrade your account to do just that. It also comes fully equipped with analytics tools, just like Hootsuite does. And it helps you get insight into what is resonating with your audience as well across the various platforms and how you can be recreating that success. So they're very similar, but what I would say is I would start by using one platform for a couple of your accounts and the other platform for the remaining accounts that you want to be using. I would say try them both at the same time, and just see which one you like better, see which one you prefer and that works best for you. So like I was saying, they really do have extremely similar capabilities. So it's all about what you prefer, what you like working best with. So all about personal preference. That's how I would go about it. Just use them both, see which one you like better. All right, so I know that was a really broad overlook at social media and how to start figuring out how often you should be posting and the type of content that each social media is really expecting. I would absolutely encourage you to attend my more in-depth channel-specific trainings if you want to learn more about a specific channel that you're extremely interested in or want to learn more about. But yeah, so on that one, does anyone have any questions about our social media 101? All right, so I don't see, oh, here we go. Yes, so Xavier, you can actually look in Sales Pro to see what we have coming up. The social media trainings are the 2nd and 4th weeks of the month. So tomorrow's my last one for March, but starting in April, 2nd and 4th weeks, I have them every day, Monday through Thursday. If you want to know about a specific class, you can shoot me an email and I can let you know when that's coming up, or you can look in Sales Pro. So Talia is asking if I had to pick 2 social platforms for an agent using to get started, what would I suggest? So absolutely, I would suggest Facebook and Instagram. These are things that not only are going to gauge you to, or not only going to help you gain more followers and get more visibility, but they're a good mix between personal and professional, right? So if you were just going to go in on LinkedIn or something like that, you're kind of competing with a bunch more professional posts. People don't usually go to there to look for buying or using a realtor. Something like Instagram, people use to find businesses all the time. Same with Facebook. And I would say those are the 2 that you want to hit hardest at the beginning. You say to post listings, you can post on Facebook other people's listings. So you can actually post other people's listings. Say you're on a team or there's someone else in your office that you're wanting to use. Say you only work with buyers or something like that. I actually do know lots of realtors who use people in their offices that work with sellers. You can post their listings. Just make sure in the comment or in the caption to say, this listing is brought to you by their name, and message me if you want to see it. So you can post other ones, but I would absolutely make sure that you have permission from that listing agent before you do that. All right, so I don't see, oh, here we go. Yes, absolutely they should. Perfect. Yeah, like I was saying, just make sure you have it in the caption that whose it is and that they know that you're posting it. But I don't see anybody else typing right now. If you guys do have any more questions, feel free to shoot me an email. I'm happy to set up time if you have any channel specific questions or want help getting any new channel set up. But again, thank you all for joining me today. I hope this has been beneficial for you all. I know that a